When parents have conflictual co-parenting relationships, we need to implement a new strategy called parallel parenting. So what is parallel parenting? It is the ability of one parent, or actually both parents, to create their own rules, their own discipline, their own strategies, their own traditions, their own belief systems, and their own action plan for how they parent their children. So we have mom's world and dad's world. In mom's world, whatever goes on, her rules, the belief system, the way she cooks dinner, her bedtime rules, and her homework stay in mom's world. In dad's world, his belief system, the way he provides dinner, his rules for homework and discipline, what he does on Sundays or Saturdays, the way he works with the children stays in dad's world. I want you to understand that mom's world, dad's world is a very powerful way to take your children out of the middle. So in mom's world, dad's world, we want to set up our own rules. And then we don't need to share those with the other parent. We don't need to get their agreement. We don't need to get their approval. We don't need to get them to agree with you to do the same thing. You just do what you do in your world on your time. And the less you interact with each other in the very beginning of the setting up the new rules, the calmer you'll get and the more you get your child out of the middle. Now, it doesn't have to last forever, but I recommend that if you guys have had tremendous conflict, or you think there's going to be conflict, or you just can't stand to see that other person, that is read by your child. So set up some rules about how you won't be present at the same event at the same time. If you go to open house on the same night with the same parent and you're in the same classroom, your child's going to feel tension. They might be embarrassed. They might be scared. They might be worried that somehow or other something's going to happen. So you can trade off. You can go earlier in the afternoon to the open house and the other parent can come later. Or you can make another time to go see the child stuff and make a special trip. If you have to go to school conferences, or if you have a problem with your child, one of you should go to one and ask the teacher to make a second one. This day and age, parents are adults are pretty used to having parents say, I need a separate conference. Now, I will give you one other tip. The communication that you have with the school or with the coaches needs to be you doing it on your own. Don't ask the other parent to do it for you. So here's a tip. Get 10 envelopes, address them with your address, and stamp them with your own stamps and give them to the teachers. If you have 6 grades or 6 periods, give them 5 each. Tell them, I'd like to have my own report card, any notices going home, photos for the children sent to me, an extra copy, so that we don't have wrangling over whether the child got pictures and the other parent won't share them, or when the coaching activity occurs, or when open house occurs. Then you can figure out how you're going to set up going to those events, as long as you know about them. If you're waiting for the other parent to give you information, that's going to create conflict too. So let's review just a couple seconds. Parallel parenting is much more effective than cooperative co-parenting because it doesn't require that both parents agree on the child sharing rules or discipline or homework rules or who sleeps in whose home and what you do on weekends with kids or how late you do it. And you have to get the image that when the child is with the other parent, you go do other things with your life. If you're talking to your child all the time, pining away for them and missing them and making them feel guilty, you're creating child abuse. If you are causing emotional stress when your children come back and you're asking them questions about what went on in the other parent's home, you're creating child abuse. You're putting your child in the middle. And if you're creating any kind of conflict at events, and your child is starting to ramp up, feel nervous and anxious, is really not themselves, is having any kind of school problems or home problems, etc., you need to figure out a way to get them out of the middle. Now, when we get later on into teaching you how to string pearls with your children, I will give you some additional strategies. But for now, what I want you to do is think about a transition activity that can occur if you pick the children up directly from the other parent's home. For example, if you've got little children, you can take them to the park. You can take them home and you can do some kind of craft or activity. If you've got bigger children, larger children, if you've got bigger children, older children, they might want to go and have quiet time or take a shower or take a nap. But plan activities that when you say, okay, when you come back on Friday or Sunday or Wednesday, we will do this activity. Remember, we're going to do that activity, and then you get them all excited about that. I will teach you how that works. When a parent gets a child all excited about what's going to go on in their home, but it's really your time, or you're getting a child excited about what goes on in your home, but it's really supposed to be on the other parent's time, stop it. But here's what I suggest. If it happens to you, and the parent is planning activities and the children are all excited, you need to sit your children down, even if they're very little, and say, look, mommy or dad and daddy, or daddy and mommy, whatever, we are supposed to make the rules about what activities you do when you're with us. And daddy or mommy sometimes gets all excited and plans activities for you that really fall on my time. So I'm going to talk to daddy or mommy, and I'm going to tell them that the next time they get you all excited about doing something, but they haven't told me about it and it's on my time, I'm going to tell that parent no. I know that doesn't seem very nice to do, but I want to get daddy or mommy to understand that you won't be able to go. Now, if they're older children, 12, 13, 14, the children can then say to the other parent, did you talk to mom about it first? Did you talk to dad? And if the answer is no, the kid says, we're not going then. So you start when they're little and you build up. That's another thing about parallel parenting, getting the kids out of the middle. We're going to go next to, it only takes one parent to save the children. Look forward to seeing you in the next class.